Calvin Castine at the Champlain Knights of Columbus Council 3525 on May 2nd, 2013. And the local Champlain Telephone Company and the Primelink cohorts are putting on a little technology display and free-for-all, I would call it here, where they have groups. They have at least 4 stations that we can see, maybe 5. I'm not sure what's in this corner here. And each of these little segments take about 20 minutes, and you can sit in and learn about something that you may or may not have heard about before, and you might want to learn more about, or something you never heard about, but all of a sudden you might say, hey, I'm glad they were sharing that information with me. So it's time for the musical chairs. Rick Levancher is the PA system here, and musical chairs. Time for everybody to move and find a new spot. Okay, we've imposed on the best dressed guy here, so figured he'd know what was going on.
Thanks, Kelvin. I'm Greg McConnell. I'm Vice President of Champlain Telephone Company and President of Primelink. And we work together to provide telephone service as well as internet service to the 5 townships here in the Champlain Telephone Company footprint. And I think one of the things that is constantly coming to our attention is that people don't realize that we offer internet service. Obviously, Champlain Telephone Company sends one message, and the fact of the matter is we're as much an internet company as telephone service today, and maybe even more. It's growing more and more an internet company as telephone service is beginning to utilize the internet. Entertainment is beginning to utilize the internet. Mobile devices utilize the internet. Some of the things we're talking about here this evening, like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and some of these social media outlets, all use the internet, of course. And the purpose of the technology showcase here this evening is to hopefully educate some of our users in these particular areas.
Okay, so it's you're doing this today for the people in the Champlain Telephone Company footprint, you said?
Yes, specifically. Yep.
But you've got people here from Primelink and from CTC, right?
Yes, we do, because our service, basically our internet service, is provided to our Champlain Telephone customers by Primelink. So yes, we do have employees from both Champlain Telephone and Primelink here this evening. And
it just seems that the internet is kind of taken over everything. I know locally here I lease a channel from Time Warner, but I'd say the internet is probably as big a part of their business, if not bigger than the cable part of it.
Absolutely. YouTube and the video sites are very, very strong. One of the things that we're talking about this evening are alternatives to traditional cable TV. There are media streaming devices now that our customers can attach to their television and basically stream anything that's on the internet over their television set. So if you've got a TV like the one we're looking at right here, that's about looks like about a 50-incher to me. Anything that's on the internet, whether it's a YouTube video of your son's or your daughter's lacrosse game or soccer game, basketball, you can stream over that media device. You get a great picture, and you really can see the players almost as if you're there. So it's becoming very, very popular. I have one at home, and I've had it for about 2 years now, and we almost watch nothing other than that because you can get virtually any movie out there. Most of the archived television shows, new television shows that are coming out, and you can get them when you want to get them, and you can get them, with pure signal. And if you've got an HD TV, the picture is fantastic.
I know personally we use Netflix, not the renting a movie part of it, but the I don't know what you would call it, but it's the big catalog
Yep.
We just go to their site there, and you've got thousands of choices to go through. And my wife and I watch a few current TV shows, but most of what we watch, I would say, in a given week would be off Netflix.
Sure, because
it costs $8 a month for that service.
it's fantastic, and we all work. We all work different hours. You're here this evening, and it's at 6:30. And I know your business is it's not exactly traditional hours. So, when you get home and you want to see something, you want to see it when you can see it, and that's one of the advantages of streaming content over the internet. It's like I can't remember the TV commercial. I can't remember what it was for, but it was several years ago. I remember seeing it. This guy rides up to a gas station in the middle of the desert, and there's nothing around, and he walks in, and it's got a motel on the back, and it says free movies. And he walks up to the old timer that was behind the counter, and he says, "Free movies, what do I get?" And the old timer looked at him and looked at him very seriously and said, "Any movie ever made, anytime." and that's what we're delivering, and that's what people can get with internet access to streaming content over these new devices. So it's an exciting time for us, certainly here, and it's an exciting time, I think, for the entertainment industry, because it's in such a state of flux and change.
It is. What's new today is old hat a year from now.
Absolutely, and the whole concept, the whole transport is over the internet. So that's why it's becoming more and more important, and that's why you see so much talk about bandwidth. How much bandwidth do I need? How much does our family need? And today, with Junior with an iPad, his sister playing a video game, mom and dad watching a movie streamed over the internet, and somebody else getting email. It all adds up, and it all takes a certain amount of bandwidth in order to drive it.
Each one has got to take some space.
Exactly. So, it's almost like electricity. How much electricity do you need? Well, I need enough to drive everything, in the home, and that's the case now. So, when you sign up for an internet service, you really need to explain, and to because it's going to continue to grow, but you need to anticipate how much bandwidth you need, because it's going to determine what you can do simultaneously.
And you have the people that can tell people how much they need.
Absolutely.
Based on what their usage is.
Yep.
And, I look back at some of the early computers. I got the PCs, and the guy said, "This is the most you'll ever need." Then, a few months later,
sure,
it's outdated. And
yep,
the things that we can put on a CD disc now or a DVD disc now, those computers didn't have enough memory to hold what's on to one of those discs.
Absolutely. And that's one of the stations we have here this evening is how much internet speed do I need? And Randy LeBombard's here, and he's leading that discussion to explain to people, the amount of bandwidth you need is going to be determined by what you're going to do with it. You're going to watch movies, okay, that takes a certain amount of bandwidth. Are you going to do simple emails? That's going to take so much. You want to be downloading music? That's something else. And so, when you add all these things up, you can pretty much figure out what you need for your bandwidth.
Yeah, and somebody who might start out saying, all I'm going to use it for would be email. Well, if all of a sudden people start sending them links and things, and they want to watch them, well, maybe they need a little more than what they thought they needed.
Absolutely.
You guys can take care of that.
Yes, we can. And if you think back just a few years ago, and it wasn't too many years ago, that you went on the internet, you searched for information. You got the information you needed, and it didn't take much bandwidth to get it because it was text. Today, whatever site you go to, just about 100% always pop up a video for you, whether it's an advertisement or part of the content that you were looking for. And whenever you introduce a video, that increases the amount of bandwidth you need a substantial amount. It's much, much more than just presenting a page of text. So just the way the internet has evolved and the way they present information to us today has increased the amount of bandwidth overall that we all need. So it's growing just by itself. And as I say, it's an exciting time, and it offers a tremendous amount of opportunities too for businesses. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you tried to sell me time advertising space on the internet, I'd go, well, I don't know. Today, it's a very, very active business because we do get so much of our advertising over the internet.
Yeah, and not to pick on the newspapers, but the newspapers are getting awfully thin because more and more people are getting their content
on the internet
outside of the newsprint. Now, obviously, you have a pretty good turnout here, but you've got a lot more subscribers in the Champlain phone company area that is going to show up here tonight. So this information is ongoing. It's available all the time.
Absolutely.
They don't have to come to a seminar.
No, they don't, Calvin. In fact, the information we have here, we can deliver on a daily basis. If our customers come to us and say, can you tell me about social media? Can you explain to me more about mobile devices? How much internet speed do I need? What are some other ideas for me to get internet entertainment? How can I do it? Our people are available all the time to do it. We just thought it'd be a good idea to get all of these informational sources in the same place and then invite people in for an evening so that they can see and circulate around and see what's available. And this is the first one we've done, and I think it's been pretty successful so far.
Yeah, I think it's turned out well. Now the average age here might be above 50, I would say. But, I think in many cases those are the people who are more curious because the young people kind of
get it.
They kind of develop this stuff. They can sometimes teach somebody else.
Teach us how to do it.
Yeah, how to do it.
Well, this is exactly the demographic that I thought would be here, and it's exactly the type of people I'm glad are here because, the people who haven't grown up with the internet, who didn't get keyboarding skills as such in school, become intimidated by it. And, I was speaking with a person here earlier before we got started, and she was saying, gosh, I'd like to do Facebook, but I don't know exactly how to get involved with it. I use the internet, but I'm a little afraid of Facebook. And I think one of the things we wanted to do today was kind of demystify some of these social media sites and explain to people you can be as involved or uninvolved as you want. I'm on Facebook, and you could spend your entire day and most of the night.
Some people do.
Posting photos and making comments and reading jokes, and some people do, and that's great. And some people just go on periodically to interject photos or whatever. But I think it's a tremendous way to stay in touch, like I stay in touch with my kids that way, because that's how they communicate. I think it's just the way you want to use it.
Yeah. Now, I think in talking to you folks at your annual open house, that I was told that wherever Champlain Telephone Company goes,
we have internet.
You have internet.
Yes.
So if you're on a back road with 2 houses on it, if the phone line goes there, you have access to the internet.
That's correct. Yep.
That's of course not the situation with the cable company because they want 20 houses per mile. So there's a lot of people that they don't reach.
Exactly.
But it's only within your area. So when you get to Altona, you're not going to cross into Ellenburg because that's not part of Champlain Telephone.
Yep. That's correct, Calvin. It's we have a legislated footprint that we can provide service in, and that's our obligation as the independent local exchange carrier here in the Champlain Telephone Company. So we take our commitment very seriously, and we're very proud of what we've done in extending service to all of our customers.
Now there's other places, we'll just get off track just for a second, but Primelink obviously does service in Plattsburgh, and because it's not a phone company, it's a...
Well, we do, yes, we also do phone service in
but it's not a phone company like Champlain Telephone is.
Yes, it's a different type of telephone company. It's called a competitive local exchange carrier that's set up such that we can compete in other locations. We don't have to be in this footprint, so to speak. So we're able to offer service in Plattsburgh. We're also offering service in Glens Falls area, Saratoga, out into Washington County, and we have service down through that area as well. So we offer voice, data service, business telephone systems, wiring, We do fiber optic construction for companies, so we're a pretty well-rounded communications company.
Well, it's got to be a full-time job to keep ahead of the curve in something like this here, because if you don't, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself on the other side of that curve.
Absolutely, and that's the part of the iceberg that people don't see. I mean, they see telephone lines and they see their phone and they know they're connected to the internet, but all the electronics behind the curtain is really what drives the internet, and it determines what speeds can be offered. It determines some of the services that can be provided, and your point is very well taken. It's a very, very expensive part of our business to make sure that our equipment and our electronics are state-of-the-art, and that we're able to continue to offer competitive products and services to our customers.
And training, you've got to constantly be training your people.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things we put a tremendous amount of emphasis on, is that we take pride in the fact that our technicians, we feel, are the best, and we try and retain our employees so that they can be the best, because it's the kind of thing where, to your point, they need to be trained, they need time in the field, they need to experience new equipment, and take the time to bring equipment into the shop and learn how to use it before we put it out in the field. So yes, it's a very time-consuming and quite expensive proposition.
Now, I know you've touched on probably a lot of what's on those papers, but we have, I think, 5 stations here. But
5 stations, that's correct. We've got the social media station that we're talking about, Twitter and Facebook, and some of the newer social media sites that have just become available.
So again, if you have questions on this, call the Champlain Telephone Company.
Yes.
And they can update you on this one-on-one.
Absolutely. And so
stop in.
Or stop in. Yeah. Stopping in is probably the best way, because unless it's a quick question, it's better to come in and sit down and have somebody actually show you how to go to the site and how to navigate it, so that you don't become frustrated trying to do it yourself. So social media. We have a mobile device station set up to talk about the latest in mobile devices, like the Android and iPhone and iPads and tablets, and there's a different one that comes out every day.
And every month somebody has come out with the end all.
The end, yeah, absolutely. And the cool part about it is these pads now, the picture quality on the iPads is almost as robust and distinctive as a regular television set. Even better in some cases.
A little smaller.
So, again, that's one of the things that Johnny's going to be in his room, or he's going to be watching a movie on an iPad wherever in the house that they want to. So you're no longer confined to the living room, gathered around the television set anymore. You can take the entertainment with you, and that's what some of the mobile devices allow you to do, and it's one of the fascinating things about the business is it just continues to evolve that quickly.
Okay.
And then we've got Randy talking about internet speeds, and as I said, if you're new to the internet, or if you've just started and are trying to figure out, gee, how much bandwidth do I need? I don't want to buy too much, but I want enough so that I can watch movies, I can do this or I can do that. It's best to talk to a professional, and they can ask the right questions and determine exactly how much you need, so that you're not frustrated in not getting the bandwidth that you need to drive that particular application you're trying to work on. And we've got Donna. She's talking about basic internet navigation. How do I do this? Hers is a how-to session, so that people that come in and don't know how to do certain things on the internet, she's teaching them how to navigate certain commands on the internet. And then, as I mentioned, we have our final station that's talking about, how do I access other content on the internet other than just basic cable TV or network TV? What's available? How do I get it? How much does it cost? How difficult is it to set up? What are the best ways to do it? And we all use this technology, so these guys are really, really up to speed on what's available and what really works.
Now, you've got some people here that may not have the Champlain telephone. They're in the footprint. They're going to be watching this on cable. And even if you decide you don't want to go with the Champlain telephone, you can still get your internet service.
Yes, that's correct.
So you have different packages. We're not going to get into the DirecTV one because
We can't talk about it.
not on channel 24, but I do have 8,750 videos online. If you want to watch them anytime you want out there, you haven't got to watch them on cable. But you do have different packages. Some with just with phone and internet. Some with
Yes, we do. So, we can pretty much hook you up whatever your needs are. And the best way, once again, I think, Calvin, is just to stop in at the office and talk to one of our customer service representatives who know the right questions to ask and can get our customers set up with what they need.
because there's more and more people. I see a lot of these phone numbers, even businesses, that don't seem to have a landline for a business. So a lot of the young people probably don't have landlines
Right.
these days.
That's correct.
So even if they don't take part in what Champlain Telephone has to offer, they can take part in what Champlain Telephone has to offer besides phone.
Exactly, and while businesses, as you just mentioned, might not have a landline, they all have the internet because it's very hard to do business these days if you're not accessing the internet for product information or to communicate with your customers, or to bill or to receive payment. I mean, it's all out there now, and it's almost impossible if you're not hooked up with the internet.
Right. All right. Anything else, Greg, that you think we ought to cover while I'm here?
No, I would just invite the members of these communities to come in and see us. I don't know whether this looks like it's going to be the first of many showcases that we're going to have available, because I think this has been a tremendous response, and I think people are learning a lot this evening, and so hopefully this is the first of many that we'll have to offer. We were trying to include it in our Customer Appreciation Day, and we've done a little bit of training like this during that event, and found that there's just so many things going on, it's hard for people to concentrate.
Sit still for 20 minutes at a station, and you have 5 stations.
Exactly.
yeah.
So we decided to carve this off and do it independently, and I think this has been a real success for us. So we thank everybody that came, and hopefully we'll be doing it again real soon.
All right. All right. We've been listening and chatting with Greg McConnell, the Vice President of Champlain Telephone and President of Primelink. And we thank you for taking time to chat with us. All right. You can access a lot of information regarding the phone company and Primelink by going to the Champlain Telephone Company website. And, of course, while you're on the internet, don't forget to visit our Hometown Cable website. And on here we have, at the moment, just under 8,800 videos available under a whole lot of categories that will keep you entertained for hours and hours. And these are available at your convenience. So visit the Champlain Telephone Company website, and then you leave there. Be sure to visit hometowncablenetwork.com and check out the 8,750 plus videos online right now.